Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Katie Rothschild. I'm an HR consultant with Smithworth Consulting.
And my name is Shelley Washi, and I am a wardrobe and image stylist.
And today we're going to be talking to you about how you can take control of your career transition. But first, pause this video and go follow us on social media. We'll wait. So just a little bit about today. We'll introduce ourselves, go over some resume basics, and then talk about how you can dress for the interview and build your self-confidence. So as I said, I'm Katie Rothschild. I'm an HR consultant with Smithworth Consulting. I have over 7 years of HR experience, including functioning as an HR department of one. So I did it all: recruiting, hiring, benefits, payroll, training, you name it. I also have a master's of science in leadership and human resource development. I also have some education experience. My bachelor's is in education. I have 4 years of teaching in the public school. I specialize in training, design, and development for organizations, also helping them get their HR department off the ground, and I help people that are in a career transition.
My name is Shelley Washi. I am an image stylist, wardrobe consultant. I skyrocket your confidence. My background comes from working in television. I was live on the air at 6 and 10 as a reporter and an anchor, and I had a lot of consultants who taught me how to project, how an image works, how dressing for success can get you in the door. So I am sharing that with my clients today. And I broke out of television and went into the corporate world. So a lot of what I learned as a television reporter really translates to all of us in our everyday job. So that's what I'm going to share with you today.
So just a little overview of what I'm going to be talking about. These are just the basics. You're going to need to be honest. That is my number one tip. If you take anything away from today, be honest on your resume. Also, you need to keep it streamlined and professional. We'll talk about different qualifications and references you can list, how to talk about your job descriptions, past projects, and then we'll also talk about some transferable skills. So, like I said, if you take anything away from today, it is be honest. Do not inflate your title and do not change your dates of employment or your responsibilities, because that is a huge red flag. When I was hiring, I was looking for candidates that had integrity. So I had somebody that interviewed beautifully. We were ready to offer them the job. And then when it came time to check references, we had found out that they were dishonest. So we decided not to proceed with that candidate. Now, if they would have been honest from the get-go, they probably still would have gotten the job. So just keep that in mind. Honesty is the number one rule here. And then also a big thing that I would see a lot of resumes that had mismatched fonts, and that doesn't look very professional. And it's just a small thing you can do to make sure that recruiters are seeing your resume and it looks put together. If I see a resume that has fonts that are crazy sizes and everything is mismatched, I think, oh, well, I don't know, it doesn't look like they paid a lot of attention to detail, which is a huge thing in jobs nowadays. So your resume will likely get passed over for that. So at the top, make sure your name stands out at the top. My name is really long, but it is as big as it will go and fit on one line. And then my organizations I worked for, they're in bold, they stand out, they pop. Same thing with the job titles I've had. Make it easy on the eyes. Also, when you are including your contact information, make sure you have your email and your phone number. Some people put their address. I don't think that's necessary now, especially if you are looking to relocate, or if you're kind of live a little bit far away from the job and planning on moving. I've seen people kind of question resumes because the city is on there, and they're like, oh, this is kind of far away. I don't know if they'd be interested. So I just say keep it off, keep it to the name, the email and phone number, and then use bullet points, concise language, and proofread. Please proofread. This is one small step you can do to show that you have attention to detail.
Mhm.
And then, so some qualifications you can list on your resumes are definitely your education, even if you have not finished. I had a client who was halfway through her business degree. She decided that she needed to move home and help her family build their business from the ground up. So she didn't finish. But it's still important to put that on there because she still made it halfway. And on top of that, she had real life, feet on the ground experience with building a business. And that's something that she made a talking point in her interview. Also, any awards that you have, any professional organizations that you belong to or certifications you have, even volunteer organizations. This shows initiative. You want to give back. I always say include that. That's very important. As far as references go, the standard is to say references are available upon request. However, if you are entering the workforce after a long absence, like years and years, or you're breaking into a new field, I have my clients list a few references. So an example I like to use is one of my clients moved from the food service industry to the professional industry with engineering. So I had him list someone he knew that was his job title as a reference, a former boss, and then just somebody he knew that could vouch for his character. So those are the kind of references you want to put if you determine that that's necessary. And then job descriptions, make sure you keep it simple. Of course, you want to include the dates. So this is the month and the year. If you have, for example, for me, I had one company, but I had two job titles. So I make sure that I list both of those under that company, as well as the different responsibilities I had. I say limit to about 3 to 5 bullet points because too many details can be overwhelming. Also, I say keep it to the bullet points because if you have everything in a paragraph, you can have the best resume in the world, but if it's hard to read and it's not easy on the eyes, things can get overlooked. So just keep that in mind. And then everything I just talked about is something that we want to keep to the first page. So we really want to try to keep it one page. This is just so we can make sure everything is concise, and when people see it, they have the full picture. Now, if you want to go into detail like I do on my resume, my second page talks about past projects I've had. So I highlight those on the second page. I still use the bullet points to make it easy to read, but I also use the CAR method if it applies. So it's challenge, action, result. And I will go ahead and give you a brief example of one of my projects. I used to work in the corporate world. So I was responsible for the HR function of onboarding. So after somebody accepts their job offer, they would come to me and I would get everything that we needed to get them on board for orientation and for them to start. So one of the challenges I noticed is we worked really closely with our recruiters, But there was miscommunication, misinformation, and they weren't really understanding our process. So what I did, I went to my manager, said, hey, this is what I'm noticing. This is the challenge. The action I want to take is to build a training and present it at the staff meeting. I think it would really help. So I built the training out, presented it to the staff meeting, and the result was they had so much of a better understanding, and it streamlined our process. So that's just a brief example of how to use the CAR method. And if you do volunteer work, I know one of my clients does Keep Louisiana Beautiful. Say you organized a cleanup day, you can absolutely include that in your projects. So just something to think about. And the last big thing I really want to talk about is transferable and soft skills. So I want you to think of skills that you have that can be transferred across various industries. I've listed a few. Like I mentioned, I had my client, he was going from food service to the professional engineering world. Well, he had time management, and that applies for engineering. He had to communicate with his team members and be collaborative. That's pretty much across any industry. Multitasking, that's a huge one. How many times are we trying to do a million different things at one time? And then management or leadership skills. This client didn't have the official job title of manager, but his boss gave him some managerial responsibilities. And absolutely, if that's the case, list that on your resume. So these are just some resume basics. If this is something that's resonating with you and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is great, I need help, I don't know where to start, please reach out to me. I am running a special right now. I usually do a resume review for $69, but if you mention this video, you will get it for $49. And that includes me discussing with you your resume, what we can do, educating you so that you can take that back and go forward with it. Also, your professional formatting and an editable file for you to have so you can move things around if your jobs change and whatnot. So I will have both of our emails at the end of this presentation. So please reach out if you need help. I am more than happy to help you.
Perfect. Perfect, perfect. So once you've got your resume to the top of the pile, because Katie made it perfect, you're going to get an interview. And this is where I'm going to step in, because you have an opportunity to control something here, your image. Why would you leave that on the table when you can up your game by doing some of the following? My number one thing I tell people, get a haircut. I know it doesn't seem like much, but if you're wearing the same style you've worn for a decade or more, it is time to get your hair cut in something popular, current, interesting, relevant. Look at people on anything you watch, social media or on television. Find somebody in their 30s maybe that you like their hair and you can see on you. Take that picture to your stylist and get your hair cut. Take care of all your hair. Nose hair, ear hair, beard, neck, eyebrows, all of it. You're going to be polished like you've never been polished before. This is the time to do it. Use some hair product. It keeps your hair styled as it should be and in place, and it really smells nice. And it's just enough of a scent that you're not wearing a cologne to choke anybody out during an interview, but you smell nice and you look like you made the effort. The other really easy thing to do, I'll say more affordable, and it can be easy, is get new eyeglasses. Again, if your eyeglasses are more than a decade old or even 5 years old, they are dating you. And it's a hard industry out there. It's a hard hiring time out there. Don't give them any reason to doubt your ability to work in today's market. Take away wired rims. Wired rims can date you pretty quickly. Look for tortoiseshell. They're classic. They look good on almost everybody's face. Go for a plastic frame. See if you can find something like that that you love. It will make you current, as cool as your new hairdo. So we've got this part taken care of. What are you going to wear? Maybe you don't need to buy anything new. Maybe you're going to pull your best clothes out of your closet. Not everybody has to wear a suit for an interview. Not every job needs a suit. But if you can, and if it does, wear the suit. Overdress. Ladies and men, overdress if you fail on that side, alter to that side rather than underdress. Pull it out of the closet. Maybe you haven't worn it in a while. Get it cleaned. Get it tailored. Try it on. Does it fit you? Press it within an inch of its life. You need to look polished, polished, polished. If you find that your clothes just don't fit you, your interview clothes just don't fit you like they should, go and buy something new, but don't spend a ton of money. You don't have to buy the very, very best out there. Buy something that fits you well, that's conservative, that's a solid color, gray, blue, something like that. Keep it calm. Some were saying, you're dressing me like my mother or my father. Kind of. Err on the side of more conservative than maybe you would normally be. Anything you can do to keep you and your words the best part of the interview is what you should do, but you better look the part that you can work in this company and you can represent this company. Take us to confidence. There's a lot to be said about looking really good. And when you look good, we know those days when we're pulled together and we look really good. There are other ways to help. Now that's the start, right? You look good, you're dressed well, everything fits nice, you're polished. There are certain things that our brain likes. Something called, Katie, what's it called? Oh, the Wonder Woman pose, is that what we're calling it? Yeah,
power
my
poses.
friend, yes, the power poses, yes. Yes, yes. It's ridiculous looking, I know, and men and women can do it. It's just actually pushing out your chest, throwing back those shoulders, standing tall, hands on hips, and it sends a message to your brain. There's scientific research behind it. It literally works. It takes you into that place of, I am good, I am ready, I am solid. Do it. In the bathroom before your interview. What have you got to lose? If it helps you, you're all the better, right? So those are some of the...
Yes, and I can attest to this. I was the one in the bathroom before the interview doing this where nobody could see me. But just try it. It looks silly, but just try it. You walk out of there feeling confident and on top of the world. And by the way, I got that job. So whenever I did that, so my confidence, was showing through. So it works.
I love that. Whatever your little trick is to make yourself feel good to walk in, because we're nervous, right? You're in the middle, you're starting an interview. While you're in the bathroom, and maybe even sooner than that, practice facial expressions. When I was on camera, the consultants would come in, and we were really not allowed to show how we felt about the story we were reporting. It wasn't supposed to be in the tone of our voice. We certainly weren't able to roll our eyes or, nothing was ever allowed to show what the reporter felt about the story. So we would learn how to keep a very calm face. And that's the face you want for your interview. And you don't know what you look like until you look in the mirror practicing your calm face. Some of us have a resting face that's not pretty at all. Do you know you have that face? You need to. And some of us get nervous and smile and we look crazy. And you don't want that face either, right? If you get bad news, or if you're asked a hard question, or there's something bumpy or rocky you've got to get over in your interview, what's your face going to look like? Know how to keep that together. And top-level CEOs, top-level execs are really, really good at this. Never let them see you sweat. There's a reason for it. They really hold their composure. In the media, when we used to come up to somebody, microphones and cameras and lights and throwing questions at them, they never let us, the good ones, never let us know we caught them off guard. we knew something they didn't know the media knew. Never, right? Don't give it away. This is your chance to be in the seat and to get all the best responses. So practice your face. Practice being in the hot seat. Understand that the spotlight's on you and you want it. This is your time to shine. Get comfortable taking compliments. Get comfortable talking about yourself. Get comfortable saying thank you. Own your accomplishments. If you're not good at that, and a lot of us like to demur and step away, right? We just aren't comfortable with that. Get comfortable with it, because you know how good you are, and you need to be able to relate that to the HR Katie across the table from you. So those are some of my quick tips, just a start of what I would do if you were my client and we were getting you ready for an interview. So if you like this idea, just like Katie is doing, I want to work with you. Mention our little meeting that we're doing right now. Mention that you saw us on here. And I normally charge $100 for an hour. And I'll cut it in half. I'll do it for $50. I'll zoom into your closet. I'll work with your clothes that you have right in front of us. And we'll make it work. And we'll get you all squared away. So that's what we are doing, because I know the economy is in a bad place and people need some help. And this is good. We've got some excellent skills between the two of us.
Yes.
You should use them.
Absolutely. So with that being said, please feel free to contact us. I have both of our email addresses down here listed, so feel free to reach out. We are more than happy to help. I know a lot of us are affected or know somebody that's been affected at this time with the economy, so we really do want to help you get out of that and land your dream job.
Agreed.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. We will see you next time.
Thanks everyone.